Hello guys, Tempo here and welcome back to another video. This is not going to be the usual guide slash build video. It's gonna be just a talk about basically my brainstorming and thought process about a crit, if it's worth or not, and obviously like this is gas arrow oriented with Pathfinder, but you can also apply this like way of thinking, I guess, into any build there that you might be playing, right? So first of all, I need to implement that it has been very hard to actually get to the crit, and it requires a lot of passive points actually in order to get like high crit. I've done some calculations that I will be showing you throughout the video, and some cool tricks how to get power charges and stuff like that. I'll try to make it a short one or shorter, but good details. So basically, you might be thinking, oh, why are you having this 1% immune to chaos? Well, I was thinking of ways to get power charges, to get crits and stuff like that. So basically here you can see me rolling, shooting. Basically what I'm doing is that I'm killing my clone. In order to do so efficiently, I would have to get 1 life, so that my clone has 1 life, I have 1 life, and 100%, I don't know, like it's weird. I was doing some research and etc. About this, and this is one of the better ways to get power charges. There are other means and other ways to get it, like the resonance one here. You can get like power charges somehow. You can get additional power charges, but I think if you want to apply this method, then this is probably the best, at least for us. Although I had to remove Herald of Ash, Herald of Ice, Wind Dancer in order to fit this, and this is because I have Elemental Conflux. If you're not playing with Elemental Conflux, of course, it's 100 Spirit one. It's pretty hefty in price or in cost. But I do think this method is probably good for bosses. If you can somehow get your energy shield up to like maybe 3 to 5k or something like that, it could be pretty good for bosses actually. And I'm gonna see a little bit more how I can do this or how I can't do this. So basically all the crit that I have is on the bow for now. I also want to add crit damage bonus on the bow, but this is almost close to a perfect bow. I'll spend like 60 divides or something on bow and quiver, basically, in order to get like as much crit as I could or crit bonus in order to actually test this out fully. So I just bought this for testing purposes, pretty much. Because we as Gazaro cannot pretty much fully have another like head. If I could use another head, I would probably like put crit on it, obviously, and stuff like that. More energy shield, right? And it would be like way better actually. But I've been thinking a lot like through these past weeks, like how can I improve the build? And crit has obviously been like a big topic in my head. Because in other games such as like WoW or something, right? You like crit is a double multiplier in most games, and it's pretty strong if you don't lose too much of other stuff if you go for it, basically. Right now I've lost a lot of energy shield, I've lost a lot of base damage, some attack speed if I didn't find it on the quiver. So these are things you need to consider and think about, obviously, if you go crit. It's very passive point heavy. Obviously, like I said, you might be another class. You might be starting here. You might be starting there, right? So you might other ascendancies and it gives you crit or something or anything like that, right? It might not be exactly the same for you. But this is actually how it's looking for me, passive points wise. And as you can see, like you could also go here, obviously, and take these. I'm actually gonna try it out a little bit. I would take away this. Like I would, in my case, like right now, I would need to take away like either this, these here, for example. I can't really afford here. Only taking away these for Herald of Ash, basically. I mean, for the Pinnacle of Ash. I couldn't really take away these because of the quiver if I want crit, which is a little bit weird. This has to stay. I'm pretty sure these are very strong. Could also get some insane damage bonuses here, obviously. But what I've been thinking is mostly that, like, if you're close to, probably crit is like omega worth it if you're like close to, let's say, 50% crit chance, 50 or close to 50, and you have a round above, like, if you have like above, I would say like 400% crit bonus, then I think it's like noticeably worth it. So basically here you can see that I'm using the one life, like the chaotic collection inco keystone, right, and I'm dashing and I'm killing my clone, getting power charges, and this is basically through and via the lingering illusion with persistence. Also, if I don't have this, for an example, this support, then I cannot kill the clone quick enough in order to get the power charge. You could also play this with blink. I heard some people using it, but I'm not gonna do that if I'm testing this, or if I'm actually doing it in practice. I don't think so. Basically, why I did it is because I want to get power charges effectively or efficiently, and to get the charge infusion, which gives me more crit chance, which is multiplicative. This one right here is giving as much as even as if not even more crit chance than my bow itself, basically. And this bow is giving a lot of crit chance. Probably not as much, but close to it at least. So my crit chance with, I'm gonna show you guys my crit chance with the let me see, with the without the, what's it called, the charge or something, charge infusion, is basically 36.4, and you can see it here. I'll demonstrate. It's basically 36.4, right? I'm running it up. My crit bonus is 400%. If I would now gain a power charge, my crit would move from 36.4 to 43%, right? Which is pretty good, and it's pretty close to the 50% mark that I kind of want to go to. But like I said, pros and cons, right? If you have thoughts about this, if you have any ideas, any like arguments whatsoever, you can put a comment down below, and we can discuss it. I'm happy to discuss this because, like, I think that for a really good endgame build, you kind of need some crit, I'm pretty sure, and some crit bonus, some crit, because it's pretty good damage boost actually, and scaling wise. This is obviously a test with like fully maxed out or close to maxed out crit chance and crit bonus. Like I said, no crit or crit bonus on the neck, which is also very valuable. You could get additionally the crit bonus on the bow, which will be massive as well. Massive / really good. And then on the head as well, crit and crit bonus, I'm pretty sure. And that's pretty much it, I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, here we have the crit chances, right? And here I took, this is gonna be calculated in thousands, here and here. So this is before my crit testing, and this is after my crit testing. So these are the numbers of my fire damage, my lightning damage, fire damage, lightning damage. Gas arrow is converting basically 100% of physical damage, attack damage, into fire damage. And then I have added lightning damage, a lot of added lightning damage, right? From the hands, from the rings. This is my bossing ring, by the way. This is my breach ring and mapping ring, so I just swap these out. Also to get one additional skill slot in order to get darker arpg, to get rage generated before the boss into the opener, basically. Okay, so let's see. So basically this is with, I mean, you can basically see it, right? This here is elemental conflux, and it's giving me the fire buff right now, right? As you can see there. So it's amplifying my fire damage. It's improving it by 72% more elemental damage, basically. So it's multiplicative. That's why I kind of wanted to do this calculation with it. And we can basically see here These are also going to be rough estimations, rough numbers. If you have a better way of calculating this, you can hit me up in the comments, like I said. But these are my early thoughts. Basically, I've been brainstorming about this for like 1 or 2 days now. I've barely even leveled. I've barely even played. Still on 96, of course, like stuck there forever, I guess, because I'm just fucking theory crafting all the time and like testing out stuff. But basically, this is the fire with like before the crit, right? 17 to 28, as you can see here, 17 to 28. I'm running it up, running it down, of course. And then we can see here, this is the damage, like base damage, basically, after the crit items instead, and crit nodes and stuff like that. So it's drastically going down. But we need to think about that we have now 400% basically of crit bonus damage. So this basically means that we can take this number. Let's start. You could also take the middle number, of course, like here, like let's say 9.5 or something is probably close to the middle number here, right? But let's take the high end number for an example, just to demonstrate, times 5, right? That's 400% if we crit. This is if we crit, we'll now do a 60 instead of 28, right? So this is double damage of this. But we need to think about that we are not going to crit all the time, right? We're not critting all the time. We don't have 100% crit chance, or like 90% or 95, or even 80 or 85%. We have 36%. And if we would use the power shot, we have 43. But right now in my build, right now in my situation, in this current moment, I cannot apply this to myself because I will have to dodge 10 out of 10 abilities from the boss, basically, which is not like realistic, right? Because it will insta-kill me. So in my situation, it's like whatever the fuck, like a little bit funky, but let's say you have like 3 to 5k energy shield, it would be pretty good, I would say, to actually utilize this technique. But let's say now we don't have 100% crit chance, right? So let's get closer to this number here, my crit chance here. So what is that? Let's do this divided by 2, which is 50%. So now we're like, if we were doing like 100 hits on the boss, then the average kinda would be 30, right? If we have 50% crit chance. Now we're getting closer to this number, right? 30 is pretty close to 28, but that is if we have 50% crit chance. So now, like this, with this crit chance, this number is probably lower than this even, right? So these are like a little bit my points of view here. If we would now, I'm gonna like, maybe we can also show the actually. So here you can see with the lightning, now we have the lightning conflux buff here. It's giving 38, 3.8, let's say, and 39. I also wrote this down somewhere here, 3.8 to 39, 39k. So after the crit, we basically have 19. Let's take the high end number once again, and we can times it by 5, basically. 95 divided by 2, 50% crit chance, let's say, during 100 hits on the boss. We would be approximately hitting this, which is greater than this, right? Now it's like a bit greater, but once again, I don't have 50% crit chance. Closer if I had this. Let's say this number is more like, I don't know, like it's like closer to like probably like something like this, I'd say, or something like that. Like, how worth is it? Is this 100% accurate? Probably not, but it's like as close as I can get right now. Also, probably like if I could find a way to like path here like a little bit better, right? Let's say I wanted to try this out, like for Pinnacle of Ash, for example, I would not go the Frenzy Charges because you have no mobs to kill before, and Tempo Spell is too much of a nuisance to do in the opener, because our opener is still, is as it is, like kind of wonky. It takes at least 2-3 globals to in order to like do the opener, right? So let's now try to get to this here, for example. Oops. And I would obviously like, I could take away this point, right? This is 1 point, but it's so much work doing the second web swap points. So like, let's say we're taking away these because I would need to take away something, right? I think these have to stay. That is on point. 3 points. We would probably need this because this is very strong. Take this as well. And we'll probably take away these as well. I don't have it on. Okay. And we have 3 points. Okay, let's see. It's pretty strong. I do think this node is also pretty strong. Like, this won't, obviously these won't go into the calculation here, but I think these 3 points are really strong, actually. But the issue is like, you're spending like 1, 2, 3 travel nodes, basically. That's why I originally chose these, because I'm already on the path here, and I can get like the crit and crit bonuses, basically, because I'm like close to them already. I don't have to travel more or use travel points, right? And I don't need attributes. But let's see here, like let's go for the crit bonus, basically. Like, let's do that, I guess. And let's see what we get here. And it is calculating, but I don't know. So now we have like almost the same crit bonus, a little bit more crit chance. Basically, did we lose some energy shield? I don't think so. So what did we get here? We got crit without the power charges, 36.4, which is greater. That means also now if we do the lingering tech, we cannot do anymore because we need like the points basically for this. So we're not getting the extra crit here basically. But what I can do now is that I can remove the lingering bitch boy. Let's see, the lingering bitch boy. This is like basically Herald of Ash. I'm just using for bosses, like the pinnacle bosses basically. I'm also using Herald of Ice because it gives me increased ice cold damage, which is also a bigger part of the build. Then the supports could be obviously better for bossing as well, the ones I'm putting in now, but yeah. You could also use like ambush, for example. I think it's like pretty good for gas arrow actually, because like before a boss comes down, you basically put down all the arrows, right? You like shoot all the arrows, and then when the boss comes, all of them explode simultaneously, which should probably, all of them like should probably take use of the ambush. I tested this out a little bit, but I'm gonna test it out more. It felt kind of good. Bosses are kind of dying. I'm doing like 7-8 million DPS with this, like the kind of crit, but without these, maybe these will give like way more. But probably this one is maybe better than this. Not 100% sure here. Maybe I can find a way to get this point as well without hurting the build too much. But we'll see. Maybe get a ring with like insane dexterity or something, and then you can take away like these two and get 2 more points. Even this you can take away, right? You saved like 3 points here, or I do. You Could also take away this, I guess, in order to get it. But I think if you're going here, then this point is really good. These are like filler points, but I mean, you're giving something, right? But probably if you're taking these three, then you should probably instead take 1, 2, 3 here instead and get this one. Probably. But yeah. So now we can see the gas arrow is with these points, it's getting higher in the crit chance. It stays kind of the same in the crit bonus. And we're also getting something that's not showing on the sheet, which is really insane. And that is the increased damage if you have dealt a critical hit in the past. Like recently, I think it's 4 seconds or something. Yeah, it's 4 seconds. So there's like 50% damage increased. You take this, it's 20% more. I think it's super worth taking this actually if you're patting here. But once again, I'm encountering the issue where I think for like personally, like the energy shield is a little bit low, life is a little bit low. In order to do like the uber bosses, there's like basically 1 or 2 hits and you're dead, right? But it's fairly doable, of course. If you're playing the boss really good, then for sure it's like a good thing, right? Yeah, I mean, this is basically my thoughts about this. You can leave a comment down below, like the video, subscribe, of course. I also stream on Twitch if you want to watch me and check me out. So these are basically my thoughts on this. Yeah, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.